everyone. I'm Kim, and I'm here with Juji, Taris, Lee, and Shira. We are five friends, speakers, and professionals from different cultures, backgrounds, and age groups coming together to offer healing and inspiration. Today, we wanted to talk about finding the bright spots in the midst of this pandemic. I was actually just sharing with you ladies about how I had this big realization the other morning that, wow, this pandemic doesn't have to steal my joy. Like, that's up to me. That's a choice. And that was such a big moment for me to just be like, wow, yeah, I can choose to be joyful right now if I want.
Well, I'll tell you that one of the things I've not been doing, which is helping with that, is not watching the news. I mean, I really don't watch the news. And if I need to know something, like I live in New York City, so I need to know what's happening because it's the epicenter. But I feel like I'm getting my information from my support system. And then every once in a while, I will go on and go, okay, let me watch a couple of minutes of reality. But I really feel like it's helping me to maintain that sense of joy and perspective. That's just been really helpful for me. Really helpful.
I agree with that. I actually also have been not watching the news. I've made it a point to I just don't turn on the news. I feel like I actually get, the latest from all the social media because I am on social media. So I scroll and I find out and I laugh in between, the all of the bad news and the new tolls of deaths. But that's a great thing to not do. And one of the other things that, I try and remind myself when I do feel some kind of stress coming on is that we can't control it. There's nothing we can control right now. What's happening is happening. We've got to ride it out. We've got to keep ourselves and our families safe and do our best. Do our best right now at this time.
You look like you were going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say that, I watch the news all day.
Yikes.
It's literally on in the background at all times. But one of the things I love about watching the news is that it really, right now, is really very cognizant of oscillating between the facts and then really beautiful feel good stories of people coming together and all of these different people who are sewing masks at home. And I saw a really amazing segment of this company in Texas that are making these dome helmets so that people don't need ventilators and things like that, and really getting scrappy about it.
Yeah.
I love hearing those stories. So to me, the bright spot is ingenuity for sure. And then also just a sense of community. We all have to now take care of each other so that we flatten the curve. And that's what they've been talking about this whole time. And it's beautiful to see, based on cell phone service and subway swipes and everything, people immediately in New York City took it very seriously. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, thanks I just got a little chill when you were talking about that because it is true. It's true what it's transforming us into because it's kind of like, virus, you're not going to get the better of me. And I just wanted to share quickly because last night, every night at 7:00, they have the changing of the shifts in the hospitals. And at first I didn't know what was going on. I think I mentioned this in another episode, but last night I was on the streets in front of my building watching this unbelievable party happening. I couldn't believe it. Somebody had a sound system on the 10th floor of their building that was blasting What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. And then you had the garbage trucks and the policemen everywhere flashing their lights. And then every floor of this 20-story building, everybody was in their balcony dancing and woohooing and clapping. And I was just looking around and I was like, wow, this is happening right now to make ourselves feel good. And the doorman with his cap and his jacket and stuff, he was outside, he was doing this practically breakdancing. He was amazing. And it just warmed my heart I can't even tell you.
It's kind of cool that those are the memories that hopefully we're left with after all of this.
Mm.
Had a similar story over at LIJ. I wasn't there, but one of my mentors that I was speaking to on the phone yesterday was telling me about how all of the fire trucks and the police officers all at the switch, the changing, all drove to the hospital, driving around, like beeping their horns and, revving their sirens and all that stuff for all the, frontline workers. And it was kind of cool. I'm actually a little upset that like I'm not there seeing it. I don't know about you Long Island ladies, but don't you just want to like run into the city and just go check it out?
Well, I'll tell you what I am seeing. And I think I've mentioned before that in my community, somebody started a Facebook page that has just transpired into close to 3,000 followers now, and perhaps donators and volunteers are involved. And they've raised about more than $40,000 in exactly 14 days. And all of it has been going to support the restaurants. And simultaneously, at the same time, it's feeding some of these frontline workers at LIJ and North Shore Hospital and everywhere. This is expanding so quickly that it's actually mind-blowing. And so we're now seeing the posts on Facebook from the people that are on the receiving end. And they are so grateful and so thankful to be thought of, and that the community is doing this for them. I love seeing it. It is amazing stuff. And I think that's some of the stuff we are going to remember.
Zhuzh?
Absolutely. I actually have a friend who I used to work with in visual merchandising, and she volunteered as one of the moms to watch the children of frontline workers. So like they can drop the kids off at this rec center in Queens, and she has volunteered for probably a few days a week to be one of the supervisors of these children. And she wrote this like beautiful, heartwarming thing on her Instagram yesterday, showing a picture of the rec center and saying that she actually realized that this is her new calling, that she doesn't want to return to her career when this is all over, but she wants to go into young education as a result, because she never knew how giving it felt and how powerful it was to be able to do that. And I was just like, yeah, girl, like that is the stuff of what this is all about, is to really reevaluate what was important and what you were stuck in that you can now get yourself unstuck from.
Yeah.
I actually am having that exact thing that you're just talking about, like the just rethinking of how I want to spend my days. I mean, it's twofold. I cannot get over how much I am thinking about other people in my life, people I haven't spoken to, old friends, old family members, people I've connected with. I know all of you feel the same and have been. It's amazing how something like this can come into your life and just make you want to reach out to people, want to connect and see how everybody's doing. But also I'm taking stock on my own life with my career. As you guys know, I've been commuting into Manhattan for my pretty much very, very long time. and it's 4 hours of my day that I now have back. And it's absolutely life-changing. It's life-changing. And I've known I've wanted to work from home for a long time, but now I know it on a level that I literally made a promise to myself the other day. I said, when this is over and they allow us to go back, I'll figure out the work situation, but I don't want to commute anymore. And I made a promise to myself to figure that out so I don't have to, because it doesn't make me happy. Where you have someone like my sister, who's a teacher working from home right now, and she hates it. She's like, I cannot wait to get back in the classroom. I cannot do this. I will not do this. And it's so good for her to know, because she's eventually moving, and she thought about teaching online, and now she knows that she doesn't want to. So it's bringing about so much discovery.
I think one of the biggest things that's causing all of this, and sadly all the death and sadness and suffering that we're seeing around us, is really forcing us to understand how short this journey of life is. And how much of my time do I want to be spending on doing things I hate, being around people who don't support me, just feeling down. It's so short. I liken, sometimes I think about, because I'm a huge roller coaster lover, and I always love roller coasters because it's like all these people that we don't know are on this big freaking car train with us. And we're all about to go on this like incredible journey. Sometimes it's only like 2 minutes long, but everybody gets off the train and we're all like, woohoo, like high-fiving each other. Like, that was amazing. But like all different colors and races and religions and age groups. But we're all on this ride together. And that's what I think about planet Earth and our lives, right? We're only here for a short time. Like, just have fun. And I know it's very easy for me to say that right now. I get it. I totally am keeping it in perspective because some people are really being challenged right now. But in general, I think it's forcing us to, you know, reevaluate and try to, like you talked about, Kim, like finding the joy wherever you can.
Yeah. And I also think that all of that is making us a little bit more resourceful. Some companies on Long Island, I was listening to News 12 last night where a screen printing company, I believe they just do t-shirt printing and apparel, they turned their warehouse and their factory into a place that's now making masks, much needed masks to deliver to hospitals. So that is just so touching for me. And I heard that one of the automakers is also turning their location into a place that's going to be making ventilators. So whatever people can to do as a resource to help others right now, like how can we serve others? Those of us who are so lucky to have homes and shelter and food and everything else that we need. And, you know, what about those that don't? What are those in the front lines? Really, we need to think about them. We need to reach out to friends or those less fortunate about going out, maybe somebody who's older. But I'm finding a lot of people are starting to think about paying it forward and being of support to others, as we really always should be.
Yes.
And isn't that why we're doing this show? Isn't that why we're like, we just jumped into making these videos? We were in the middle of creating a show and in development and figuring out format and title and all these things. And Taris, you were the one who was like, I just want to help. I just want to help right now, whatever we can do. And we were like, let's just start having conversation. Right, Taris?
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting. I feel that to what Lee had said, I feel like people are just and have jumped on like a week into this whole mess. Like a lot of people, a large percentage of our population out there, you know, just immediately was like, let's help. What can we do? You know, like Ford, with what you were saying, Lee, they jumped on like a week in. So it's pretty amazing to see the community that we really are when we don't have forced, I'm just going to throw the word out, governments, you know, controlling what we do.
Well, and you have people who, you know, it's really tough in life to look for the good in other people. Like we feel like we're very much alone, having to worry and deal and handle like ourselves. And that's a hard enough job as it is. And then you know, you hear it all the time, right? We all complain. We're all guilty of complaining about other people's behavior. We can't control them. But so in times like this, it's so just heartwarming to see people being all for the people. You know, how can I help? Coming together, just like you said, Lee, just people turning their businesses around like that. I mean, Taris, isn't that what you're doing with your business right now? Your coaching business, that you have all these clients that you see in person. Aren't you creating a program online to,
yeah,
right?
It literally is forcing me to create the program online, and I'm talking to people online. And I have to tell you, I'm a very like hand-on-hand, you know, face-to-face, energetic person. Like I like to be in front of my people, but I'm finding a way online. So, you know, something that I wasn't 100% ready to do, I'm now forced to do. And
But that's going to impact way more people than it originally was. So maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's a reason for that.
Yeah, and it's also bringing more people together instead of coaching one-on-one. So now I'll have like 10 people, you know, maybe strangers that don't know each other, all, you know, in a room, in a Zoom room, and, you know, we're just chatting.
We'll come say hello.
I just wanted to bring up something interesting, and that is like, I remember when 9/11 happened, right? And everybody came together and everyone's like, what can we do? And rah, rah, and the whole thing. And I just find it such an interesting human, I don't know, phenomenon, for lack of a better word, that it's like, why does it take so much crisis for us to see the good bubble up? Like, and then we, like a rubber band, you know, sometimes we just go back to our like old ways. And believe me, there's plenty of division in the country and in the world right now, but to see us come together and help each other, like that's the way we're meant to be. So like, what is it about that rubber band effect that we like go back?
Because life is too fast paced. We don't get the chance to stop and think of others. We don't get the time to stop and think of ourselves, right? If we did, and we took a step back and, you know, we had a moment to breathe, I think that we would all be a little bit more conscious on what we want in life. You know, like helping others, because it's innate. Like mothers were born to nurture, right? Like we want to take care of people. And I think that, you know, men are the same way. I just think that sometimes they have egos, right? Where they just want to be like, oh, I'm the tough guy and I don't have to nurture you. And I think now it's going to be a really huge shift for men, especially, you know, stepping up to the plate and giving a little love to people.
I know plenty of women with egos. Just saying.
And plenty of men with nurturing skills and personalities.
Exactly. Juge, were you going to say something?
I was gonna say, like, Governor Cuomo's been doing like a daily briefing, and it was just so beautiful. He had his brother on, who has the virus and is quarantined in the basement of his house. And like when they were signing off, they told each other that they loved each other like 10 times. And it was so heartwarming. I was like, grown men who are very tough, and like, you know, Chris Cuomo's like asking the tough questions, and Andrew Cuomo's like the governor, so you know,
God,
he's had to be very sort of straightforward and like gung-ho about things. But like watching, like I was melting. I was like, yes, these are the men.
That's what it's all about. It's all about love. It's all about spreading love and being love out in the world. That's all there is. So on that note, why don't we all leave off with one thing that we're grateful for? Who wants to start?
I'll start. It's another one of these observations that I've made that has been something good that came out of this whole pandemic. And that is, and we can't dismiss the fact that outside of our homes is this earth. And I believe that this has been absolutely beneficial for the earth. It's been healing our earth. I mean, they're saying that the canals in Venice are now clear. You can actually see fish in the oceans and in places you couldn't see before. The smog in LA is gone probably for the first time ever. Pollution everywhere in the world. So I think this was also a little wake-up call, and hopefully we will stay on a good track with this and not be you know, destroying our earth the way that we have been. Yeah, so I'm very grateful for that.
That's a really, really good one. Like we were talking about habits in a couple of other episodes, and like if we could get into the habit of that, amazing. But I wanted to say, you know, that I'm so truly grateful for those people who are putting their lives on the line, grocery clerks, you know, healthcare workers, garbage people who are stocking our shelves. And I saw something so heartwarming from different countries. I saw a bunch of doctors holding up signs that said the same thing, but in a different language, which was so got me right here. And the line was something like, "We're working overtime here, so please stay home. We're working overtime here for you. Please stay home for us." Mm-hmm. And so it's just a reminder for everybody watching that your staying home is you doing your part. So just gratitude to all the people that are putting their lives on the line.
Yeah. What about you, Kim?
Well, Jude had her hand up. Go ahead.
You go, Jude.
I'm grateful for all of you.
Aww.
I'm grateful for all of you because, you know, we have these calls, but we also talk individually, and we have our group text, and like just knowing what's up with you guys, as like simple as that is really important to me, because, you know, our friendship in real life. Remember real life? That was always super important to me. And it's really, really heartwarming that we're all still just as connected, even though we haven't been able to get together physically.
Yep. Oh, do I see a little tear in Kim's eye?
I'm like seriously trying not to cry right now.
Cry, come on.
Let it out, baby.
The best, it's all about.
I feel grateful for so many things, but you know, last night Juji and I were talking about the NYPD and just how hard they're working right now. And you know, we have some contacts with them, and we're just hearing all these stories, and so I don't know, they just like, I really didn't know what I was going to say about what I was grateful for, because there's just so many things. I was kind of listening to what you guys were all grateful for, but I definitely feel very grateful for an agency like that that is there to protect us, and that they choose to do that for a living, something I could never do. I'm not built for that, and I just am so grateful that there's people like that out there protecting people like me.
Yeah.
Paris?
Yeah, so I guess I'm grateful for so many things, but I'm going to just give it back to the world right now and just really just be thankful that I think everybody is coming around, and I think everyone is going to be awakened right now, spiritually and health-wise, and I just, that's what I'm grateful for. I think that this is turning around the thought process on how people need to really take care of themselves. So considering that that's my industry, I'm really grateful for that.
Well, thank you guys so much for sharing. And, you know, we encourage all of you, the people watching, to just take this moment and think of something that you're grateful for and that brings you joy. We really hope that you enjoyed this conversation and that it's helped you in some way during this time. So if you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel, and be sure to always let us know if you have any topic requests or any questions. You can comment down below, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching, and be safe, everybody.
Gratitude.
Thank you.